Hi, I'm Coley Barbie, and welcome to Cooking with Dr. Coley. Today we're going to be making a vegetarian chili. I know a lot of people who just think chili cannot or should not be made without meat, but this is a great way to use all kinds of veggies that you have stored in your fridge. Chili is more than just beef, tomatoes, and beans. It can be so delicious using just vegetables. The star of this chili is the lentil. Lentils are an amazing food for a lot of different reasons. Lentils are full of fiber, which is great for your gut bacteria. It has been shown in studies that people who eat lentils have more stabilized blood sugar throughout the rest of the day. And this is a great way to use some lentils. Many people don't have experience preparing lentils, but they're really, really easy. We're going to start with just about a cup of lentils. The measuring here is kind of optional. The important thing is that you do clean the lentils and rinse them off. You can also sometimes find little stones or pieces of dirt in the lentils, so you want to pick those out if you find them. So you just give them a good rinse. They're going to go in the pot, and then you're just going to fill the pot with water. You want to cover the lentils by about a half an inch to an inch. And then you're going to boil these for just about 15 minutes. They cook quite a lot like a pasta. I can't say enough good things about lentils. They really are a superfood and good for so many disease processes, specifically diabetes, but also irritable bowel syndrome and anything. And we could all use more fiber in our diet. So we'll link to the other lentil recipes that we have on the channel because you really are going to want to have a lot of different recipes in your back pocket about how to use this superfood. So while we have the lentils cooking, we're going to start doing our chopping. So the thing about chili is you want to cook all of your fresh vegetables first to let them soften. The other thing is you want to layer in the flavor as you cook. If you try to do all the seasoning at the end, you're not going to get the vibrant flavors that you get when you kind of layer it in as you go. First, you'll just peel and chop an onion. You want these in a small dice. Heat a couple tablespoons of olive oil in a pan and add the onions. Give them a little stir and add just a pinch of salt. This will help soften them. Next are bell peppers. I like to use a mix of yellow and red, but any color will do. At first, you remove the seeds and the stem, then chop into uniform pieces. So once the onions are a little bit translucent, that's time to put the peppers in. Just the onions take a little longer to cook than the peppers do. So you can use garlic powder in chili, but fresh garlic is so much more delicious, and there are lots of antimicrobial properties that garlic has, so it can help you fight off that cold and flu. When you're buying a head of garlic, you want to look for one that's pretty firm. When you peel the outer layer of skin, you'll see the cloves. Just pop a couple of these off. I like my chili extra garlicky, so I'm going to use about 6 cloves. The easiest way to do this is take the flat back of your knife, just kind of bop it, and then you can pretty easily peel that skin right off. If you're having a little trouble, you can also just take the end of the garlic off, and that should help it peel a little more easily too. And then you just want your garlic to be in small uniform pieces. And then you're going to put that in the pot with the onions and the peppers. Give it a stir. Your heat's on about medium. Now that all our fresh ingredients are in, it's a really great time to start building the flavor. I think the essential spices for any chili is our salt, cumin, and chili powder. I sometimes will also use a little garlic powder and thyme. Those aren't totally necessary, but they will just bump up the flavor a bit. So you want to use about a tablespoon of ground cumin. And depending on how spicy you like your chili, anywhere between a half of a tablespoon and a full tablespoon of chili powder. Remember, you can always add more. So if you're a little bit nervous, put in a little less first. You can always go back and up the spice factor later. So starting the spices with the vegetables allows the spices to kind of toast. It develops their flavors, and it's going to give you a much better tasting final product. Just going to let that go to town. The other thing I love in chili is a sweet potato. It adds a lot of fiber, a lot of flavor, a little bit of sweetness. You want to cook the sweet potato because it takes so much longer than the other ingredients to cook. So an easy way to do this is just by poking holes in it. Put it in the microwave about 2 minutes. In the microwave, flip it over 2 more minutes. And then you're just let it cool. And then we'll just peel it and cut that up into chunks too. And we're going to throw that in the pot as well. The other thing any good chili needs is acid. So now that the vegetables are soft and the spices are a little bit toasted, I'm going to put just a little splash of red wine vinegar. This helps gets up all of the cooked little bits on the bottom. And it's going to add a nice depth of flavor to your chili. You can use any vinegar here. Apple cider vinegar would work great. Balsamic works okay. Even white vinegar adds just that little bit of acidity that you need. Just going to check on our lentils here. You want to cook the lentils until they're about 90% soft with just a tiny little bit of bite or texture right in the middle. So we just need to cook just a bit longer. Next, we're going to add tomatoes. Now, I advise people to get the whole canned tomato. That's the least likely to have added sugar and salt. Ideally, if you can find low sodium, that's the best because a lot of sodium gets added into the tomatoes. But we're just going to add a whole can. And as those whole tomatoes cook up, you can just kind of break them up with your spoon so they're in smaller pieces. Now that the vegetables are cooked, we're turning the heat down to low just so everything can simmer. You don't want to burn the bottom. I love this chili recipe because it's not really a recipe. You can throw anything in your refrigerator. If you have mushrooms, celery, butternut squash, zucchini, All of these things would go great in this. Just chop it up, throw it in. It's delicious. Great way to get rid of all the produce in your fridge that is nearing the end of its lifespan. Let's talk about beans. Beans are also a fiber powerhouse. They are great. Your gut loves them. And there are so many different types of beans. We do have a recipe about how to make your own beans from dried and from scratch. So we'll link to that video. Today we're using canned. The only problem with canned beans is that they're packed in a lot of extra sodium. So you don't want this extra sodium, especially if you have high blood pressure or heart failure. It can make you retain fluid. It also throws off the taste of your chili. So the important thing here is that you want to drain and rinse all the beans.
Use 2 cans of any kind of bean. Today we're using kidney and navy beans, but black beans would also be great, as would chickpeas. When your lentils are done cooking, drain them and add those to the pot as well. Adding fresh chopped herbs such as cilantro and green onion at the end will finish your dish. Add these delicate herbs at the end to maintain their crispness and flavor.
And there you have it. Easy, healthy, vegetarian chili. I promise you will not even miss the meat. We're going to add our fresh herbs at the end because they're delicate and they have a lot of good flavors and phytonutrients. They're great right on top. And that's it. Enjoy.